Hello everybody, EdwardFan223 here. It's Halloween and today I'm going to be doing a Halloween video. It will be the top 5 spookiest or scariest Thomas moments. I was going to do the top 5 darkest Thomas moments, but I decided Halloween is more spooky and scary than dark. Maybe I will, but the things will probably be the same on this list. So let's get to the video. First on the list is Rusty and the Boulder. This episode, you could argue, isn't really that scary. However, the reason why I'm putting on this list is more of young childhood memories. I remember watching this and being scared of this episode. This was the most scariest thing for me as a little kid. I would never watch it afterwards. And now I have that to respect for it. This episode is another really good episode, but I don't think that's the best reason why it's on the list. Because, well, it's scary. I know the action sequences are the star of the show here. However, especially the ending can be quite scary and definitely scared me as a kid. Now let's move on to the next one. Next on the list is Haunted Henry. This episode could be interchanged with Rusty and the Boulder, but I prefer this one more spookier wise because, well, it tries harder to be scary. The plot of the episode goes, Henry's taking some trains up on the Peel Godred line, and when he goes, his crew and him believe that there is a ghost. One night, Henry gets so spooked while pushing some trucks that he goes really fast. He breaks through some things when he hears the ghost, or what we'll see to be Old Bailey, and pushes them off the cliff. Now, this crash is pretty spectacular and quite spooky as well. Now, this episode, it's not that scary as the others. It's just more, maybe, I don't know how to say it, but it's not as, scary as what we'll get on the list. However, I do like the theme of playing around with a ghost. Episode 3 is Stepney Gets Lost. Now, this episode is definitely scarier than the last two. The reason being is a well-beloved character, Stepney, is at stake here. Now, I love this episode for the tone it does. Not only is the visual scary like in Haunted Henry and kinda Rusty and the Boulder, but the stakes are high as well. We have Ari and Bert, who are amazing characters, and try and scrap Stepney again. Well, they weren't trying to scrap him the first time, but anyways, this episode is fantastic and is one of the highlights of Season 5. The story goes, while Stepney is working at the quarry as a break, when he goes back, he gets lost and goes on the Peel Godred line. He finds himself at the ironworks, and when his driving firemen go to help, Ari and Bert, who were previously not in an episode, and they're good here, as I said earlier, want to get me scrapped. Now, the Fat Controller saves him in the nick of time, yes, but the stakes are really high. Stepney is about to die here. Anyway, this episode is so scary, so I do believe that is a really good episode for it, and definitely free on the list. Now let's get to the final two. Next on the list is Ghost Train. This episode might be one of my favourites from the entire series, maybe my favourite Season 2 episode. What it does well, it does really well. The visuals are top notch for this season, and of course the story and the scariness of it all. Now, let's get to the story first. Now, Percy is telling all the other engines at first about a story that the driver had seen on television about a ghost train. The other engines think that Percy is making it up and that he's being rubbish, and Thomas calls him a scaredy engine. Now, to get Thomas back, after Percy has an accident and gets white powder all over him, he uses his appearance to scare Thomas. Now, I really love this episode. Not only are the visuals scary again, but the score this time is really sensational and really gets you in the mood, eh? And it's also really scary. I'd probably hear it in a horror movie, for heaven's sake. And Ringo Starr's narration is amazing. One of the best episodes he's narrated by far. I don't know if George Cullen's is I'm pretty sure it's amazing, as it normally is. Anyways, Ghost Train is one of the scariest and one of the best episodes from the entire series. So let's move on to our final episode. But first, here are some honourable mentions before we get to that. Toby's Discovery. Now this episode has some spooky stuff in it. However, it's only like the very end of the episode that's scary. The other parts aren't really that scary, so that's why it's not on the list. I'd love to put it on here, but yeah. Scaredy Engines from season 6. I don't believe that this is a scary episode as much as the episodes on the list, but it definitely has some chilling additions, and I do love the visuals of the smelter's yard. But yeah. Also, we have Percy and the Haunted Mine. This isn't on the list because the visuals could be considered scary and spooky, and especially with the buildings falling over. This episode is kind of bad for Percy's character. I don't think it's entirely bad as people say it is, but that's really all I have to say for it. And I'd love to put ghosts on here, but this isn't a Tug's list, this is a Thomas list. And number 1 is Duncan Gets Spooked. You knew this was coming, you weren't shocked. Now, it's pretty obvious why this is on the list. Yeah, that. Anyways, this episode is, well, it's scary. I mean, we witness a death to an engine, even if it's not real. We see an engine dying. It might not be real, but the episode doesn't even say if it is real or not. And when Duncan goes to the bridge, he supposedly sees the engines as fireflies. Now, the drivers and the firemen, the crew, were planning to trick Duncan and threw the rocket into the ocean, or the swamp below. But they can't control fireflies. Was this just Duncan's imagination, or was it real? Same thing with Rossi's story. Did it make it up? That's what I love about this episode. Everyone's gone on and on why this episode is amazing, but it really is one of the best episodes of Season 5. Watch the Unlucky Tug's video about it if you want more explanation. It is amazing, and again, the most scariest episode of the show, without a doubt. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know if I'll be making the darkest video. I don't know at this point. So if this was uploaded a little bit later than usual, because, it's meant to release on Halloween. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!